for some of you, I'd like to kind of take you on a little road trip here, how things got started. It all got started with a guy by the name of Patrick Phillips. This is a picture of Patrick when he was obviously a little bit younger. Patrick was everything as people would know him as a serial entrepreneur. For many of us that are as entrepreneurs or business owners, we've maybe worked for a company for a while and man, it just didn't work out. And so we're going, gosh, what else could I do? I'd love to be able to work for myself. And that's what Patrick did for he and his family. This is his family right here. There's Patrick to the left, Linda to the right, Adam, and then Sarah. But this picture was taken not just yesterday, but a few years back, as you can see there. And then Patrick and Linda are obviously the co-founders here at American Business Systems. Let me tell you the story real quickly about Linda and Patrick, how they got started. Linda was actually doing, she was a homeschool mom. She was working with Adam and Sarah, getting things kicked off in their career. They were always looking for a little extra income. So they were asking around. And so one of their friends says, hey, I've got this company over here that does what's called durable medical equipment. Some of you might know it as DME. And he says, hey, I need some help with the billing. Linda, have you ever done any billing before? She goes, nope, never have done that. She goes, well, all you got to need is a computer. I've got all the forms here. I'm going to give you all the codes. I'm going to tell you how to do it. I just need for someone to process these claims, get them out the door. We get paid, and I'm going to pay you a percentage of what you help me collect. Well, they go, what? Gosh, I can do that at home. I can raise my kiddos, still get my kids to school. And that's how it all started. Patrick saw that. He thought, wow, that's something pretty cool. The only challenge there is go find other people like that, other doctors or other medical billing, durable medical equipment. Durable medical equipment for some of you, those are your wheelchairs and your beds and your potty chairs and stuff like that, crutches, walkers, stuff like that. So he said, let me see if I can go do this again. So they did. They found another company that they could do some billing for. And he goes, okay, this is pretty successful. And then all of a sudden they thought, hey, our friends are wanting to kind of know how to do this. So that's how ABS got started. Then since time has gone on, Patrick has shared the lead here of American Business Systems with his son, Adam, as you might have saw the picture earlier there. And then Adam is now our CEO of our company. So he is fully running American Business Systems. And he's got a crew behind him. Some of those folks are people like myself. And then when we had Tim Warren on last week, if you might recall, Tim is the director or VP of support and training. So if you didn't get a chance to listen to the webinar from last week, man, did you miss out on a great webinar. But you didn't miss it. There is still out there that you can be able to go out there and see it. But Adam has not only taken the reins as the CEO of American Business Systems, he's also done some writing. Patrick loved to write, and so Adam's kind of picked up on that. I'm going to share a couple of those other books a little bit later, but he is a contributing editor for the Billing and Coding Advantage magazine there. So, but not only has Patrick and Linda founded American Business Systems, which is everything that has brought you here today. There's been something that's always been needed to kind of help our new business owners that are in medical with American Business Systems. They needed to be a part of an association. And so through a board of directors and Adam getting this kicked off, Adam founded an organization called MERMA, the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. It is the largest independent group of medical billers in the United States. And they are the ones that actually will certify you once you've completed our training. So if you want to go out there and go check it out, it's mrmaa.org. It's MERMA. Now, when you become a business owner here at American Business Systems, you get to actually utilize this logo of MERMA saying that you're associated with this organization. And that brings you a lot of credibility from the very beginning, because obviously, since it's been around as long as almost ABS has been around. So that's a little bit of the history of American Business Systems, how it got started, and kind of where we are today. So you've kind of settled in with some longevity, obviously with a lot of credibility. Now with MERMA associated with it, And now with you becoming a part of that and being certified by the Medical Revenue Management Association of America, there's where your certification as a certified medical revenue manager comes into play. And that's going to be very important because those initials that you'll get to put after your name when you put it on your business card. And as you'll see here in a little bit, I'm going to show you where you can put it actually on some books and some of the other marketing flyers that we have here to kind of go along with that. Now, the system wouldn't be complete without a billing system. So this is an interesting story. Just kind of let you know a little bit of the history of how I've been associated with American Business Systems. I've been around ABS for a little over 16 years now, and about 3 or 4, maybe 5 years into me working pretty closely with Patrick at that time and Adam, we were all looking for a good billing platform to use. We were looking at several different kinds, and we ran across this company that had a very solid web-based, cloud-based billing system and EMR system. But one of the things that we found out about this is that it also had its own clearinghouse. So now those that know a little bit about billing, that's a pretty impressive thing. And so we teamed up with them. And then all of a sudden they got joined and went in with NextGen, and NextGen has taken this over for us. And now they power the billing platform software for our ABS business owners here. Now that's a powerful thing for you to understand. This too brings a lot of credibility because there's not any billing companies out there that can say, hey, NextGen powers my billing software, which is called iClaim and EMRx. That's a powerful thing for you to be to have in your hip pocket. And then whenever it's time to showcase this to a doctor, as through what we do as with is called a demonstration, and I'll show you how that will all come to play. We're the ones partnered with NextGen that is actually going to do the demonstration for you for your doctor. So let's just say that you sign up next week, you complete your training within the next 2 weeks, you could have a doctor seeing the system within about 2 weeks. And it's done and it's driven by us, and we'll be able to answer all the questions. The doctor would never know that you just got started 2 weeks ago. We've had literally several of our business owners get started just like this, because sometimes coming into this business, you may already have a connection, a relationship with a potential doctor or somebody else that might know a doctor, and you could get a lead on a doctor fairly quickly. And then all of a sudden you kind of go, well, what do I do? I don't know how to do all this. All of a sudden you're with American Business Systems, and we're right here to help you kind of get all of that taken care of. But not only do you have the package of iClaim and EMRx, we also have all of this bundled in with, so Virtual Care, Audit Guard, CodeWrite, DentaMax, Compliancy Guard, Quick Collect, Choice Pay, Auto Card, Credentials Now, which means that we've got an opportunity for you to help your doctors become credentialed with a certain insurance. Maybe they're not with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they need to be that. We've got a source that can help that. And then Doctorables is just a completely web-based system, again, to help the doctors with all of their other things that they've got to take care of within their office. So this is all inclusive. The training, the support, everything I've shown you so far is all inclusive to what you get here at American Business Systems. So what I want to do now is take a little bit of time to talk about what it means to complete your live training or your training to succeed here in 2024 coming up. Now, I'm clearing out a few things here on the Q&A so I can get to some folks here, and some other folks put in here that they were from Milwaukee. We've got Daniel from Maryland, Mike from Orlando, Florida, and then some questions are already starting to come in. So this is good. So let me clear this one out here. And then Mazim, hopefully I said your name correctly. Got a couple of questions. How can we get franchise of ABS to start our business? Aware of the complete solutions for the start of the business. So, okay, great. This is all good. Okay, wow, I'm from Pakistan too. So folks, we are international today. This is pretty cool. I appreciate everybody being on here. So everything that I just shown you, everything right there. First of all, let me answer his first question. He's saying, how do I get started as being a part of American business as the franchise? Well, first of all, we are not a franchise, okay? We are a business opportunity that has everything that you need to run it as if you were a franchise. Franchise comes with franchise fees, they come with royalty fees. There's everything that kind of goes along with that. So that's what this business is all about. So you don't have to worry about franchise fees or royalty fees. We have a one-time investment of $28,990. Now, I did want to make sure that you understood that, as I shared with you a couple of weeks ago, and I forgot to put a slide in there, but the price is going up in the first part of January in 2024. So I'll kind of remind you about that here. So you got a few months to kind of still get within the pricing here, everything that's included, but you're getting everything, and there are no franchise fees, no royalty fees. Everything else that's there, you've got in one complete package. Someone's saying this looks like a billing and coding business. It's not a coding business. This is a medical revenue management company. It is in medical billing, but if you could see here, there's more than just the billing side of what we've got, because there are so many other different solutions. I'm going to go back up one more slide here. I'm going to take this one first right out here up at the top where it talks about virtual care. Virtual care is something that actually came out of some solutions that we needed during COVID. Now, everybody remember when COVID happened, we were all locked down, and hopefully we never have to get back down to that. But what happened during COVID, the doctors needed a way to still see their patients, take blood pressure readings, and do all of the other things that need to happen there, check the patient's glucose, and have that gotten to the doctor automatically. That's what virtual care is. It's called remote patient monitoring. So it's more than just what you're saying that we see here. It's more than just billing and coding. So Saeed, hopefully that helped answer your question there. Now, someone just piped in, Ina said, can this be done in Mexico? I'm going to answer that in two ways. First, I'm going to tell Tracy hello from Wisconsin and Aparna from Virginia. Okay, so yes, you can do this business literally anywhere in the world, because as long as you've got an internet connection, you can do this. However, with the billing system that we have, now this would go with any healthcare billing system in the United States. If you're going to do billing for a doctor in the United States, you have to have a system in which deals with the codes from, guess where? Medicare. It's called CMS, so the Center of Medicare and Medicaid Services. They're the ones that set all of the codes that need to go along with everything. So all the diagnosis codes are from that particular, obviously from that organization, because that's what's being used to get reimbursed. So if someone's asking, could I do billing for a doctor in Mexico, unless they are, and I'm going to be careful with this because if my memory serves correctly, you could do this in Puerto Rico because it's part of the United States as Medicare. But in Mexico, there's nothing there. CMS is not in Mexico. So we're dealing with the U.S. territories, obviously the states and their territories. So if you've got a doctor in any of those areas and you've got their business, but you want to move to Mexico and do the billing for the doctor there, you can do that, because it doesn't matter whether you're in Texas or Florida. It doesn't matter where your doctor is at that point. Yes, you can do this from just about any. So there's some other questions that are coming in. I'm going to hold on to a few of those just real quickly, because I want to get right involved in the training, because we're talking about complete your medical billing training this year to succeed in 2024. So first of all, let's just discuss how long the training is. The good thing about it is, I'm going to share a little bit with you about how we used to do training. We used to fly everybody in here, and normally we had to get up enough people to fill up a classroom. So sometimes it would take us anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks in between these times. So by the time that you purchased to the time that we got you here to training, could be as far out as 3 to 4, maybe even 6 weeks out. Well, we don't no longer do that. We don't wait on it. We've got immediate access to get you trained literally starting next week. So if you were to sign your agreement today and come on board with us today, we could literally start you on your training next week. Now, the training is 10 modules, okay? So I'm going to show that to you right now. So there are these 10 modules. Each of these modules will take you about 90 minutes to complete. Now, it doesn't mean that's all you do in that module one. So you're going to have a one-on-one instructor, just like what we're doing right now through this Zoom webinar, except to be through a Zoom meeting. You'll be on camera. Your instructor will be on camera. You're going to get an opportunity to talk with one another. And then your instructor is going to give you homework that will need to be completed before you go to module 2. So even though the instruction may be 90 minutes, there's going to be some work that you're going to need to do between module 1 and module 2. And why is that important? Because each one of these modules build upon one another. And through this, what you're going to find out is, as someone's asking, I think Daniel's asked already, does ABS help their franchisees find leads? Or that means doctors, or are there franchises in a particular territory? So let me first answer that part of that question is first of all, we're going to help you build your entire list through the training. Some people ask, well, does the $28,990 come with leads? Let me tell you real quickly about leads. If you were to come on board with us today, and then we were to hand you a group of leads, let me tell you, those leads have already been worked by somebody else, not anybody else here at American Business Systems. Because what we would have to do, just like anybody else, any other maybe business owner, business opportunity out there may tell you, hey, if you purchase from us, we're gonna hand you over 25 leads or 30 leads. Well, they had to purchase those leads from some source, which means that someone has set up a website marketing to doctors all over through the United States. And these doctors, maybe at late at night, are going in there and saying, yeah, I might need some help with my medical billing. So they send in your name and number, your name and contact information. And all of a sudden that becomes a lead. And then there's lead generators out there that you have to go out there and purchase. By the time we would purchase that, and you would have purchased here at American Business Systems, and we get you through training, and then you try to use that list is already old, and I'm telling you that those leads go extremely fast. And so what we have found, Daniel, and everybody else that's on the call, we have found a completely different and a better way to do this. That's why you see going from everything that's on the left-hand side with the 5 modules there, going into module 6, introduces you to marketing, more marketing, and how to do business networking. We have found this is the best and the freshest way to generate leads, and we'll show you how to do that. If you'll go back and listen to some of the testimonies that we've done, some of the interviews that we've done with other business owners, including the one we did with Tim Warren last week, you're going to find out this is how every single one of our business owners gets their first client, and it's through us helping them with that. The other question that Daniel had is there any territory protection? Folks, there is no territory protection. Your territory is as large as the United States, and then the areas in which we're obviously the United States may be in, like Puerto Rico. So those particular territories. So I'll give you my example. Whenever I became a billing company through ABS, my first client was, and I live here in Texas, my first client was actually out in Georgia. My second client was not where I live. It was in a different place in Texas. So we're not trapped in a particular zip code or anything like that, because let's say that you get a doctor here in let's say the Austin area or the Houston area, but you want to end up moving later. You can move to Florida if you want to, but you still have that doctor here. So there's no territories that go along with that. So hopefully that helped answer some questions. But getting back over here to the training overview, we've got so much stuff that I'm going to share with you. And I want to get there, because one of the first things I want you to understand is that we actually have a plan that will lead you to success. So when we're talking about, we want you to complete your training this year to succeed or have success in 2024, what's going to take you, it might take you a couple of weeks here. So let's just kind of think about this. It's the first week of September. let's say that again, you get started here next week or maybe towards the end of September. You complete that. Now you're already into October. Now you're starting to do your things that you need to do. You could have your first client by the first part of the year. And this is the time of the year, I promise you, that doctors are starting to look and trying to figure out what they're going to do differently going into next year. So everybody that's on this call right now, you are probably at the prime time to really get started here and take advantage of the last part of this year going into 2024. And then you even get to beat the price increase before 2024. This is a great opportunity for you. So hopefully that you'll see this as we kind of go along. Because inside of the training module, which is on our, like what you can see here, folks, it's on our licensee support site, which I'm going to take you there in just a moment. You're going to find out that once you go through each of those modules, we actually have each of those modules already on our licensee support site that if you need to, you can go back and review along with all the material that's going to go with that. So if you lose something, we've got it there for you. Now, there are several questions that have come in, and I don't want to get too far behind if I'm able to answer these questions. Aparna is asking, what kind of doctors can we do business? Is this only for those who accept insurance payments? All right, great question. So let's get to that question. What kind of doctors can I bill for? Any doctor that bills, if you want to, I'm going to stop here. You're going to get a pen and a piece of paper. Here's what I want you to write down. All right, so everybody should have something to write on. If you're taking notes on your online, you can do that as well. So any doctor that bills on what's a form that's called a CMS, that's Charlie Mary Sam, CMS 1500, which that CMS, remember, stands for the Center of Medicare and Medicaid Services, okay? CMS 1500, you can do the billing for. It's called professional billing, okay? Now, what's the difference between doctor billing and hospital billing? If you do billing for a hospital, that's called a UB04 bill. It's a completely type of different form. And if you want to do those types of billing, we actually have a completely different platform for that, again, through NextGen that can help you with that. But you would want to make sure that you've got some experience before you start to try to do any hospital billing. Okay, so with that said, we're dealing with doctors that bill on a CMS 1500 form. And let me list out the doctors that bill on a CMS 1500 form. We'll start off with what we think of the lowest of the low, and then we'll move our way up. Now, it doesn't mean that one's less than another, but if you go back and listen to the webinar that Bob Wilkie and I did about a month ago, his first client was a massage therapist. Yes, you can do billing for massage therapists because guess what they bill on? They bill on a CMS 1500 form. Well, let's move it up a little bit from there. Who else bills on a CMS 1500 form? Well, chiropractors bill on a CMS 1500 form. Let's move it up from there. Your regular primary care physician bills on a CMS 1500 form. And then obviously you know where I'm going. Then you go from there to your specialists, your cardiologist, your urologist. Then there are some other organizations out there. Maybe there's some labs that you can do some billing for. Again, if you go back and listen to Bob Wilkie's webinar that I did with him, he was actually doing some billing for some labs. So folks, any healthcare industry that does billing on what's called a CMS 1500 form, those are the doctors that you can bill for. So Aparna, hopefully that helped answer your question and maybe questions from other folks out there that are going through that. All right, so let's talk about what you're going to get out of the licensee support side. Well, the first thing it's going to do, once you become a business owner here with American Business Systems, you're going to get sent a link that's going to drive you to this first link where it says getting started. Now, it might be a little small for you to read, but I'll see if I can do to read it for you. It says, by the time you read this, you should have your first training module scheduled. And if not, please email our Director of Licensing, Joanne Phillips. There's her email address. And you will receive by email a GoToMeeting link or something like that. Maybe it could be updated to a Zoom for your first training session. And then it's going to tell you what to do from here on out. So this is the training prep. So you're going to get this. We're going to step you through this one by one. One of the first things that you're actually going to end up learning is what is revenue cycle management, just the very basics of what am I getting myself into. So for some of you, this might be brand new. Some of you, it might be old hat. But for those that are brand new and you're trying to figure out, do I want to get involved in this type of business? Let me explain to you what revenue cycle management is. Revenue cycle management, you might even hear it called RCM. All right. It's doing billing. So it's data collections. It's getting all this information from the doctor. It's actually processing those claims. That would be claims transmission. You're doing all the codes, putting all the codes in there. Now, there is a difference between a biller and a coder. We're doing the billing side. Now, if we have a solution that if a doctor needs a coder, we have code right, so there's nothing to worry about there. But once you've got the codes in there, and you'll even see in our I might be able to show you a little bit about our iClaim, the codes actually already build themselves in, so you don't have to worry about that. Then you got claims management. So once you process a claim, did it go through? Was it denied? Was it rejected? If it was rejected or denied, do I need to go? What's my next step? We're going to take you through all of that. Fourth is the AR, which is the accounts receivables follow-up, which is going to be, again, processing. This is where your denial management actually comes into play. Finally, you get to reporting, and then you get to send an invoice to the doctor for what you've helped that doctor collect. There's the whole what's called the RCM, or the revenue cycle management. So that's what you're getting. Okay, let's see. Mazim can you nominate our representative for further details and finalize the deal? Yes. Whoever you'd like to send us to, we can certainly help you out there. What is the difference between 28,000 to what the new cost is? Toshiba, I don't know what that is. I know that it's going up. I don't know what the exact number is. And I dare even try to say, because I just know that it is going up, but I wouldn't think it's going to be going up a lot, where you might think it might be going up another $10,000. I don't think it's going to go to that. So I think I'm maybe comfortable enough to say that it might be not that much. And I don't think that it is, but I will be able to let you know here shortly. So I don't know what that number is actually going to be. I hope I don't get myself in trouble. But I don't think it's going to be going up a lot. But it is going to be going up here at the first part of the year. Mazim is asking, how are you able to help establish and sustain the business? You're going to have someone here as a representative here in the United States if this is what you want. So if you want to contact your business coach that you're working with here, there might be some avenues that we might be able to help you with, and kind of strategize with you on some of those things. So hopefully we might be able to come up with that for you. Okay, Toshiba is asking, does ABS come with a third-party liability insurance? There is what's called errors and omissions that you can get. We'll show you how to do that. It's all part of the training program, and we can certainly help you with that. And Haseen says, I heard the ABS medical billing system was meant for radiology and pathology. Not sure how far it's true. Of course, if they're doing billing on the CMS 1500 form, we can do that. It's not just for one particular specialty. There are certainly many specialties that we can help you with. Excuse me. All right, let's go on real quickly. I think I cleared out all the questions there. So let me kind of take you on again a little bit of a tour here, and I'm going to leave this slide, and I'm actually going to go out to our out to the licensee support site live. So let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can make sure I get the new one that I want to be able to share. And I think this is the one. And I believe we're here. And so we should be, folks, you should be seeing me scroll up and down. What I'm in is what's called our licensee support site. Now, again, this is a great opportunity for you to kind of see what's going on behind the scenes, because this is a password There's a login with a password. This is only for our business owners here. But today, since you're on with me, I get to take you on a little tour. And I landed just directly on our medical billing training page. Okay. So here's a few of the things that you're going to learn how to do. So this is a training overview role of the medical revenue management company licensees in a typical medical practice. So this particular module right here is going to take you on who is the front office, who's the practice manager, what are medical assistants, who's the provider, optional outsource billing, bookkeeping, payroll. These are the different things that get outsourced typically at a doctor's office. This is recorded, but when you go through the training, it's not going to be, it's not, I don't want you to walk away from today's webinar thinking, oh, we're just going to give this to you and you're going to get to watch these training modules, that you're going to get to watch them. But this is after you've gone through a live sit-down scheduled time with us one-on-one. So you're going to be assigned a trainer. Like, let's say it was me. If you were assigned to me, then I would be your trainer, and then you and I would work out our schedule over the next 10 to 14 days, find out when it's best for you for us to meet online. Again, we're taking about 90 minutes per session, and I would be teaching you everything that you need to know for that particular module. Then I would tell you, Daniel or John or whoever else is on the webinar today. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do, I'm going to have you go through, I want you to do this homework to get prepared for the next module, and I'll see you back, in 2 or 3 days, and we'll go through module 2. That's what this is. That's what you're going to be going through. What I'm showing you right here are the replays that we've already done. So, okay, so those that need to have RCM, you remember what RCM stands for? Revenue Cycle Management. So revenue cycle management, billing terminology. So there's a lot of terminologies out there, a lot of acronyms out there that we're going to help you and make sure that you learn. E&M reporting training. This is how we're going to teach you how to use the iClaim system. What about Medicare fee schedule lookup training? How to enter a claim from a super bill into iClaim. We're going to teach you all of these things, how to read what's called an EOB, the explanation of benefits, and how to post that into our system. How to post a patient payment in iClaim. Folks, you can see here, we've got hours and hours and hours of additional training that's outside of your 10 modules that I was showing with you earlier. So this is just a brief overlook there. So I'm going to pause this here real quickly. And I'm not sure, may I know the current market share of ABS in the medical billing market and your vision on this? Well, Hussein, let me tell you this. We've been around for 30 years. We've got a pretty good market share whenever it comes to that. Now, since we're not a franchise, we don't have what you would consider to be what you would typically would see as franchise matrices and projections and things like that. This is a business opportunity. Again, we're here to help you, again, grow your business and then do this with you as you kind of go through here. So hopefully that helps you understand. But we've been around a long time. We've literally trained thousands of people over those 30 years. Many of those people are still in business, and either they're managing it, hands-on, or they kind of manage it from obviously a hands-off type part, which I think that's what it sounds like what you're trying to do. Mahesh is asking some questions here. Is this a one-time payment or installment? It is a one-time payment of $28,990, and hopefully that helps you out there. There's some more questions here. I'm going to hold on to some of those because I want to take you back over to our slides. So let me get back over to here. And let me make sure there we go. So we're on the right one. So I shared a little bit with you about our licensee support site on the medical billing training page in there. Now I want to cover a little bit about the outline in of itself. So let's get over to there. This is more an in-depth certified medical revenue management training online agenda. So I want you to kind of take a look at this. Now I'm going to shift back over. Hopefully I hope this is kind of entertaining for you. I'm going back and forth between all of this information here, kind of going back and forth here. So here is the in-depth certified medical revenue manager training outline and agenda. So here are the modules. So people want to kind of, I'm not going to be able to read these 100% line by line. So I'm going to quickly, but slowly as I can, scroll through this. So you can see this is module 1. This is, a lot of people want to know, what do I need to do to set up my business? You're going to have to set up some type of business entity. This kind of goes back with the question that someone asked earlier about liability, insurance liability. Well, one of the first things you need to do is insure yourself and create an entity like a limited liability company. Or if you're going to do this as a partnership or a sole proprietorship or a corporation, we're going to help you choose, at least help you identify which one might be best for you. Now, we can't give you legal advice, so we're going to point you in the direction of where you can find that, and they'll be able to help you. But most folks, most entrepreneurs land within the limited liability category. Okay? Because what you want to do is do exactly what that says. It limits your liability of your company. Choosing the right name for your company. Yes, you're going to have your own company name, but remember, you get to use MIRMA as part of your association, and CMRM, which is your Certified Medical Revenue Manager, that's who you are, past your name. So we've already got some things built in for this for credibility purposes, but still you get to choose your own name. How to set up a virtual company, which includes business addresses, phone systems, where you can get your logos built, how to make sure that you do that, what is a good customer relationship management software. Again, I'm not going to read every one of these, but that was module 1. So you can see that when you get through it, the first training class, you're actually going to have some to-do things that you're going to need to complete before you get to module 2. Because once you get into module 2, now you're starting to get, okay, now I'm going to start learning how insurance's claims work. What's the difference between an in-house biller versus an outsourced billing company? And what versus, them doing it in the office there? What's going to be some of the difference? Then you can see that 4th bullet down there. What is a clearinghouse, and what are the advantages having one built in to your software? Remember, as I already said, ours is already built in, and there's a huge advantage for you as you go through that. Again, I'm not going to have time to read all of this. It would just take up way too much of our time. But we're getting into module 3. Now, some people always want to know, hey, what about dental billing? Can we do dental billing? Because there's some people that actually want to do some dental billing, because when you're out there marketing yourself, you may run across somebody and I don't know a doctor, but I do know a dentist that they need somebody to do their billing. We have that solution for it. We're going to show you how to price it for your dentist, how to use virtual care as a door opener. Remember what I said about virtual care? That's remote patient monitoring, or what's known as RPM, okay? We already mentioned about revenue cycle management, that's RCM. This is RPM. So you're going to learn all of these different acronyms as you kind of see about that. People want to even know what AR stands for. That means accounts receivable. So we're going to teach you and show you how to get all of this particularly done. Number 4 module, you're getting into quick collect. You're learning again a little bit more about accounts receivables. So people that want to know what to do and how to get their business going, this is what we do. This is a very in-depth training. This is what you're getting from us, and we're not going to leave you alone. Remember, if you go through this training here and you go, gosh, I wish I could go back over. Remember, we've got you covered. You can go back over here to our licensee support site and review some of this information that you may be going through on somebody live there. All right, so let me kick it back over to here. Folks, we've got about 15 more minutes. I told you this hour's going to go by fast, but let me get back over here to our slide deck because I want to show you a few other little things. So I've shown you the in-depth certification on what you're going to get as a training. Then let's kind of just take a look at that. ABS has the process that leads you to success. Remember, we want to get you through the training this year so that you can be successful at the beginning of this coming year. This is going to take you a little bit of ramp time to get everything going, because you can see, you're going to have to get your business name. You're going to become, whether you're going to be an LLC, we're going to help you get your website going. You're going to get your logos up and going. Again, this is a full package deal that you're getting from us. But let's talk about just the process of medical billing of the software. You got iClaim, which is the practice management system, EMRX, which is the electronic medical records platform. It also has a built-in patient portal, as you can see there. This allows the patients to go in there and check and make sure if they've got labs. They can go look at their labs. They can go see how much they may owe back to the doctor. They can pay their bills through there. They can also even set up their next appointment through there. They can even have what's called a virtual visit through there, or a telemed visit. Folks, again, if you remember back in COVID, that was one of the big things that doctors needed. We already had that. Whenever our doctors that were on our platform, they didn't miss a beat during COVID. They were actually able to see their patients virtually online through a telemed process through the patient portal. And then lastly, through this is our clearinghouse, which is the claim scrubber and the submissions platform that actually gets those claims out to the insurance companies. So the iClaim platform is nothing more than what you see here. And let me go through here real quickly. I'm going to jump straight on into, well, let me tell you really quickly about iClaim. It's a platform that is web-based. First of all, there's nothing you have to download or get a group of DVDs and try to load it in your computer. Folks, if you were sitting in front of me, in front of my computer right now, there's not a CD drive or a DVD drive in here. Every software that I have on my computer right now, guess where it's come from? Yes, in the cloud, or I've downloaded it and I've got it here. So the iClaim system is you log in. That's why you can be anywhere. As long as you got internet service, you can get into it because it's going to have all the doctors' patients there. It's got everything that you're going to need. Everything is inside the iClaim system. It's all 100% cloud driven. Now, let me tell you one of the problems with other systems, and that is, you can see down here, I'm showing you a book called The New Thriving Medical Practice. And on this particular page, I'm talking about the most common causes of claims, why they're rejected, includes human errors, which means typos, transition of numbers, or any mistakes in entry can cause a claim to get rejected. Now, why am I talking about that? I'm going to tell you about it here. Now, I've taken some screenshots of our iClaim system to show you a couple of things. You see right here where it says eligibility request. Remember what the book said there? A lot of claims get rejected because someone's having to manually type in, like my first name, Eric Auger. Nobody can ever get that spelled correctly. And if they see it spelled, they don't know how to say it. And if they try to type it in, it gets messed up all the time. And if they type it in wrong, and I go see the doctor sees me, and they try to go process that claim, and it's got a wrong name on it, guess what happens to the doctor? They're not getting paid on the claim. So in our system, because we own our own clearinghouse, this is going to give us an advantage because guess what? We're going to get to go to those insurance companies of the patients and verify that they've got insurance that can be billed on. So we click on eligibility request. This brings up this part of it. And here where I can select payers. So let's say the payer is on United Healthcare. If I select that, I put the patient's ID and their date of birth in there. I type in the provider's ID type and maybe the provider's ID. And once I click on that, once I get that back, instantaneously, I get back this information. It says for this particular person, oh, this person's Isabella Stevens. I can see that her PCP's name is Albert Einstein. I can see all of her copays and her effective date. And I go, you know what? Let me go ahead and create a chart. Now, you see up here, I'm trying to use my mouse as best I can. You can see right there where it says Create Chart. Right there in the middle, it's a button. It says Create Chart. I'm going to click that button. It says Create Chart. And boom, what happens is, since I'm already connected to United Healthcare, I can pull all that information directly into our system. Now, if you hung out so far 48 minutes into this webinar, what I've just shown you is obviously the price of admission. This is what differentiates us out there in the marketplace, because there's no other system that can go out and do what we just did. And that is the truth. So what I want you to do is get back when you're through with the webinar, contact your business coach that you're working with here at American Business Systems and ask them to have them do a demo for you and demonstrate this in real time for you. That's what's important for you. The other process is we've got all the processes, again, that's going to help you lead to success, because you're not just coming in just doing medical billing. You've got DentaMax and Quick Collect and Choice Pay and Compliancy Guard. That has to do with everything with HIPAA. So if you want to try to break into a doctor's office, just go in there and ask for their HIPAA compliancy officer, and you're going to get an audience. But we're going to teach you how to be able to introduce yourself as the compliancy expert out there. Audit Guard, Auto Card, credentials now, if doctors need that, and then obviously down there, virtual care as well. Now, remember earlier I mentioned to you that you're going to have access to all these different flyers. You're going to be able to put your name on there, directly on there. So obviously we're going to need to have your logo, the name of your company, your phone number, whichever phone number you're going to have out there. This is what we have for you. And then finally, before I kind of start wrapping up, and I'm going to get back to the questions, because I want to take, there were some questions, a lot of questions that have come in. You're going to get part of your marketing campaign, a couple of different books. One on the left called The New Thriving Medical Practice. And if you can kind of look down there at the very bottom, and I've kind of pointed out there in these red areas with these arrows there, you should be able to see that right here. Let's see if I can click on that and let that, it's kind of wiggle right there. This is where your name actually goes inside the book. Yes, through our licensee support site, there's a spot there where you can order your books that is going to have your name on it with your credentials on it, CMRM. And it's also at the close of the forward, because you're going to be the one who has written the forward. We're going to put your contact information on there, again, with your credentials, your contact, your website. So as whenever you hand this to a doctor, it's as though you are one of the authors of the book. So when people ask us, Eric, can you help us get a client? Folks, this is what we do. We make it as easy. We do everything except put the worm on the hook, basically, for you. All we're doing is teaching you how to fish and how to fish correctly, so that eventually you really don't need American Business Systems. But I promise you, we're here. If y'all heard the webinar from Tim Warren last week, you know, Tim's been with us a little over 12 years. There's been people over here who've been with us over 20 years. So, folks, this is what we do. We help our family of business owners here at American Business Systems. And as I mentioned to you earlier, Adam has written some books. He has co-authored a book with a doctor called Dr. Vicki Rackner. And Dr. Rackner and Adam Phillips has written a book called 9 Ways Doctors Let Money Slip Through Their Fingers. And again, that little red, that yellow sticker up there, it's a sticker that's going to have your contact information on there. And it's going to say complimentary of your company name, so they'll know where it comes from. So these are very, very important books. Now, as I mentioned earlier, right before I started showing you the iClaim platform, remember this little slide here? Okay, see, it says The New Thriving Medical Practice and Common Causes of Rejections Included. Folks, this is the book that I'm talking about. This is not an ebook. This is a real book that I think is 150 pages long for a doctor to be able to read through and get the information. And again, you are as one of the authors, because you're the one that has written the foreword to the book. Now, support, we talked a lot about support last week with Tim Warren. There is no additional fees for support. It's a lifetime of support. Again, our support website is the ABS LSS, which is our licensee support site that I went and showed you with a while ago. And then you're going to have all of the access to all the background things that you're going to need with Myrma. If you need coaching along the way, folks, let's just say that one of your first clients is going to be a chiropractor, and you need help getting that doctor set up. We've got American Business System business owners who will help handhold you through that process, again, without any additional fees. And we're going to help you make sure we can help you close that deal. And then, as I mentioned to you earlier, I want you, as soon as we get through the webinar, if you haven't done this yet, get back with your business coach, and then find out when they can schedule a demo with you. Now, you can see here, I'm talking about a demo. It's a Zoom meeting. But this is going to be the same type of demonstration that we do for you for your doctors. So everything that we do here is actually for you to help you get your doctors. We're also going to teach you how to set up everything that you're going to need for success through your LinkedIn account or through a Facebook account. This is where, again, we're helping you build your market of everything that you need. And whenever it's time to help you close that doctor, again, we have all the proposals and all the contracts that you're going to need. And guess where you're going to find those? Again, back over at the licensee support side. You'll be able to download these. They're all in Word document format. So if you need to tweak it a little bit, obviously you're going to want to put your name, the doctor's name, update the dates on it. And then we're also, if you heard Tim Warren last week, he's going to help you customize each of these contracts for you, and these proposals for you, to make sure that you get everything done. All right, so we've got about 5 minutes left. So I want to take time to go through some of the questions, and I'm going to put this page right here up. So someone's asking, how is ABS different from other billing systems? Well, I think I just shared that with you. I would tell you the best way to find out what the difference is again, get back with your business coach here at American Business Systems and let them schedule a demonstration for you. That's the best way I can tell you without you spending one dime here with us here at American Business System, is to get a demonstration with your business coach here. Some of the other things I've told you is because it's probably about time for me to do another webinar of how we're going to help you market your business. And folks, I'm telling you, there's been times where I've had people on the webinar actually go do some of the things I tell them to do. When we get back on our webinars, did anybody go do anything I just shared with them? They come back and yes. And you're going to find out it's going to be fairly easy for you to start building what's called your warm market. And I'm going to help you do that. We can help you do that even before you get started. Mahesh is asking a question about, are there any cancellation or refund policies? There actually is, and I actually have a slide for it. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee, which states that if once you go through our, you finish out the agreement, and then you obviously invest your money with yourself through American Business Systems, and you go through training. Now, remember, how many training modules are there? 10. How long do they last? 90 minutes each. So you're going to know that you're going to get through with this training within about 2 weeks, which means you have another 2 weeks to still make up your mind. Mahesh and everybody else that's on this call, there is not a business opportunity out there or a franchise entrepreneur opportunity like this that gives you your money back or the option to get your money back. That just doesn't happen. We've been doing it for years. Have we given money back? You bet. We are good with our word here. Matter of fact, it's actually in the agreement on the first page. So if you're going to book some time with your business coach here at American Business Systems, I would also suggest tell them, give me the link that I need to get the agreement so I can look at it. And I think it's on the first page of about right at the halfway mark, the whole refund policy is right there. And it's not long. It's not like you've got to jump through hoops and it's got to be a blue moon, which we just had one here in the United States, which means that there are 2 full moons in a month that you're going to get your money back. We make it as easy as possible for you to get your money back because, folks, what we do, we want people that come in here and want to be successful and find themselves successful so that in the future, I get to interview you on a future webinar. So hopefully that helps you. What is the success rate of newbies? Man, that's a great question because obviously everybody's success is a little bit different. Remember, I told you earlier that Bob Wilkie's first client was a massage therapist. Now, that wasn't enough for him to quit work, but it got started. For them, that was success. Some of them got started on virtual care. Well, there may not be a lot of revenue that comes in through there, but guess what it does? It starts building your credibility and the people get to know, like, and trust you. Obviously, those are the building blocks of getting and maintaining the client. Some of you might actually get a billing client right out of the gate. Some of you may take a little bit of time. If kind of referring back to the webinar from Tim last week, it took him a little bit of time because he tried to do it his old way. If y'all remember, he used to be selling musical guitars and all this other stuff. He was trying to use the same marketing techniques when he was selling that kind of stuff in medical billing, and it wasn't working for him. So he had to get started all back over again and do exactly what we told him. All right. So Toshiba says, does the liability insurance come with the startup cost, or is that extra? Liability insurance always is extra, what's called E&O, errors and omissions, but it's very cheap. Whenever I'm saying cheap, we're talking about less than $100 or $200 a year for an errors and omissions policy. And again, but don't hold me to that, because I don't know if it's going to be different in each state. So you might want to check with somebody that does your insurance, and they can certainly help you out with that. How long does it take to break down, including your fee and other business costs? How long does it take to break? Oh, sorry, to break even. Okay, Mahesh, thank you for that question. I like this question because I like to answer it is with one doctor, and I can tell you how to do that. If you'll go to our website and go scroll all the way down to the bottom, there is an income calculator down there on absystems.com. Go to that. It's called income calculator. I want you to put in one doctor, billing that doctor at 7% at about $100 or $150. Just use $100 there. You'll also see how many patients is that doctor seeing. You're going to see we already kind of set about 25 patients a day. But you're going to find out that it's going to take you one doctor to get your return on investment. Remember, your investment here is just under $30,000. But typically, with one billing for one doctor, billing at 7% at $100 per claim that you're going out there, is going to average you a return on investment of about $55,000 a year. So you can see within the first year, you could literally get back your investment. Now, obviously, in that first year, you get your second client that expedites that up much quicker. So hopefully that helps answer your questions. What if I don't find any leads? Mahesh, if you don't find leads, I'm going to tell you, it's because in most cases that I've interviewed brand new business owners here at American Business Systems, it's because they don't follow the entire training program that we've got set out. That's the problem. Again, like I mentioned, if you'll go back and listen to the webinar with Tim Warren, he did not get a lead at all trying to do marketing his way. So he went back and did it our way. He ended up getting a lead, and not only a lead, but a client out of it. Tanya, if an office wants to continue using their IT system, can ABS still provide billing services? Yes, absolutely. If the doctor's office is already using some type of other system, we don't force iClaim or EMRX on that doctor. What we do is show them the difference, and it's at that point you get to guarantee basically how much more money that you could get to bring into that doctor's office. So yeah, that's kind of helpful. But typically what we try to do, Tanya, is that if the doctor said, you know what, you know enough about billing, because obviously we've taught you, we're going to help you through that. We've helped a lot of our business owners help get started with a doctor using that doctor's current practice management billing system and their EMR system, build that trust, go in there and get the job done, and eventually you get to move them over to the iClaim EMRX platform. So hopefully that helped answer your question there. Are licensee fees included in the startup? There's only one license fee, that's the $28,990. That's all that it is. You don't have, there's no other external fees or anything else. Now, let me clarify this, because some people might go, well, I just talked to my ABS business coach here, and they talked about some other fees. So let me I'm going to bring this slide back up with you. I'm going to choose the one right underneath the virtual care to the right, code right. Let's say a doctor needs some coding. Well, is there a fee to have someone do the doctor's coding? If you had a coder in your office and the doctor needed coding, guess what you're going to do? You're going to charge that doctor extra to use your coder. This is all this is. So I want to make sure that you understand there are no more startup fees with us. There's no long-term franchise fees. There are no royalty fees. However, if a doctor needs to use one of these services, the doctors will utilize that service as they would utilize the services if you had all of these people as your employees. Obviously, you're going to charge the doctor a premium to use your coder. That's all this is. If the doctors need some charts audited, same thing there. That's what Audit Guard is all about. If the doctor needs HIPAA compliancy rules and regulations in their office, you're going to charge that doctor specifically for that. So you can see what I'm talking about here. This is all part of that, but it's not fees as you would think of as what some people would call royalty fees or anything else like that. So hopefully that helped answer that. Folks, I have gone over just a few minutes. If everybody's good with it, I'm going to still keep answering these questions. However, I know there's going to be some people who say, you know what, I've given an hour to this and that's all I can give. I can see maybe one or two people have already dropped off because it's probably the top of the hour. Let me work through a couple of next steps and then I'll get back to your questions. I won't let you go, so hang in there. What are the next steps? I want you to get back with your business coach, ask the link for the research guide. The research guide is about a 100-page PDF document. It's going to go into some more detail. So get that link, get it downloaded. I want you to go browse our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/YABS. You've been listening to me all afternoon talking about you need to go watch that other webinar. That's where you're going to find it. So go watch Tim Warren's webinar from last week. For those that may have missed it, you just go over there, youtube.com/YABS. You're going to find it there. Then talk to some of these folks that are business coaches. Yes, you get to talk to those people. Those are our ABS licensees references. And these are the people that if you do end up getting a client, these are the people that are going to help you with those specialties. Then I want you to do a live demonstration. I've already talked with you about that. That's number 6. That's what or number 4. Number 6. Get with us. We're going to set up a live demo with you. And if you got your partner on there, you want to show this to your attorney, you want to show it to a CPA to join you on that. We don't care who you put on there with us. Go ahead and put them on there. We'll talk with them as well. Get the link to get a copy of the purchase agreement. For those that ask about the refund policy, you can see this is the first page. There's the refund policy. It's 1 paragraph long. Get it, read it, so you'll know what you're getting into. Finally, get your training done. Fund it, get your training done. We're going to get that training one-on-one scheduled with you. And then, folks, again, obviously, after 30 days, if you don't feel like this business is for you, you can certainly ask for your money back, and we will get that back for you because we would rather stay friends than enemies. We don't want to hold your money hostage with you. So get these 6 things done. Get those done now, and let's hopefully get you training as quickly as possible. Now, for those that want to stay in here for the next few more minutes, like I said, some people might have to leave. I'm here to help answer the rest of these questions. What is expected revenue for this self-owned business? I think I kind of shared that a little bit. Obviously, on our website, our YouTube channel, I actually have a full webinar in a complete hour of how much you can actually make within the first year. But typically, again, if you've got one doctor, you're going to be making anywhere from $40,000 to $65,000 a year with one doctor. Daniel's asking, is there a way where I can receive a copy of the ABS franchise disclosure document? Again, Daniel, we're not a franchise, so there's no disclosure documents. The only document that we have is that I think it's up to 5 pages. Get that purchase agreement, and that's all that we have. That's all you're really going to need. Because remember, we're not a franchise. We're a business opportunity. So you're avoiding all the franchise fees, all the royalty fees, not having to worry about territories or anything else like that. Fahad is asking again, what's the cost? Right now it's $28,990, just a little bit under $30,000. I do want to remind you that again, after the first of the year, it will be going up. Any prerequisites for this franchise opportunity? That's from Hussein. No, there's no prerequisites. We can teach you. If you've never known anything about medical billing, again, I kind of refer you back to the webinar from last week, but Tim came here with no experience in healthcare. He was a guitar salesman. That's what he was before he ended up getting into medical billing. And now, 12 years later, he is the head of our support team. Aparna is asking how much commission we get to keep for each billing payment. It's typically about 6 to 7. It could be as high as 8%, but typically 6 to 7%. And then Mahesh, assuming I find the leads, can I hire someone to work for me for billing and have to pay, or do I have to pay an additional $28,000 for each person who works for me? That's a great question. You pay a one-time fee of $28,990. That's it. It doesn't matter if you have just you or if you've got 100 people working for you. You don't have to pay for them to be a part of this. This is a business opportunity. So now you can see the potential growth. Literally, Mahesh, we've got folks here that literally have over 200 doctors. Obviously, they've got an entire staff of people, and the potential there for them to make all the profits is all there for them. So yeah, you don't have to pay another dime to us. I think we've got that covered, folks. We went over a little bit. Gosh, wow, almost 10 minutes. About an hour ago, I said this hour's going to go by fast. I really didn't realize I've gone an hour and 10 minutes. So y'all got a little bit of bonus today because there were so many good questions there. Hopefully you got a lot out of this webinar today. It was a joy to spend this hour with you, or a little over an hour with you. Any of your other questions, get back with your business coach here. We'll be happy to help you with that. Please sign up to get that demonstration done with your business coach. Listen, y'all have a wonderful afternoon, great weekend, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Y'all have a good night, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.